Hi everybody, Dan Illman here, taking a look at race number 10 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday, one of 3 stakes races on the card. This is the $100,000 Big Drama Stakes, 7/8 of a mile for Florida breds. Before we get to the analysis, I'd like you to try those DRF mobile past performances when you get an opportunity. Enjoy exclusive mobile access anywhere, anytime on your phone. You get these DRF Classic past performances plus the lifetime buyer speed figure graph. Downloads very quick, very easy. Learn more at drf.com/MPPS. Here's the field for this year's edition of the Big Drama. There's some nice horses in this race. Some dropping out of stakes races, some lightly raced horses that have yet to achieve their potential, but still have plenty of upside potential. And the pace of the race could be paramount because, as we see from the Timeform US pace projector, we're not expecting a big pace on tap. And that could be a boon to the number 8, Royal Squeeze. Royal Squeeze last time out had to go very fast on the lead and paid the price for his early efforts. This time around, it could be a 180-degree different scenario, and it would benefit Royal Squeeze greatly if this Timeform US pace projector is correct. Not so for the number 1 With Verve, who is a one-run closer that just won the Hutchison Stakes last time out from off the pace. As we take a look at the Hutchison, you'll note this pace wasn't very fast either, and he came with a strong run to win at a big price, and the runner-up Chivalry returned to finish second in the Florida Derby with a 90 buyer speed figure, flattering this performance. So With Verve is in good form, but considering his running style, considering the pace scenario, considering the fact that he's stepping up to face older horses with some light buyer speed figures, I think a minor award might be his ceiling on Saturday. The number 2 is Last Judgment, trained by Todd Pletcher, who treated this horse with a lot of confidence last year. He ran him in the Pat Day Mile. He ran him against Maximum Security in the Pegasus Stakes. And after Last Judgment didn't run well in either of those spots, Todd gave him a break, and it might have benefited this horse greatly. He returned as a gelding. He won an optional claiming race, and I thought he got a nice trip that day. He didn't break very well, but he ended up in a pretty good spot, far back by himself, came with a 4-wide bid, and wore him down at 6 furlongs. I like him at 7. I think he's actually better suited to the 7. He just didn't run well in his most recent start, the Sir Shackleton Stakes. Now, that race did not feature a fast pace. Last Judgment is a horse that likes to come from off of it and might have been compromised a little bit, but he just didn't do any running. He has the credentials to win this race, but at a relatively short price off the dud of a performance, I'm against Last Judgment on Saturday. Network Effect is the number 3. Network Effect was a very promising 2-year-old for Chad Brown, multiple graded placed. Unfortunately, he missed most of his 3-year-old campaign. That's been the story of this horse's career. He has been plagued by little injuries that have kept him on the sidelines. His most recent race, however, very promising. We watched his comeback, his 4-year-old debut back on March the 28th, and I thought this was a pretty good performance for Network Effect. He clipped heels substantially in the early portion of this race. Network Effect then was on a little bit of a chase in the early portion to get into contention. He made a move into second, as we see here, and he is running at the end. A promising performance with a big buyer speed figure of 95. And here's a Chad Brown formulator fact that also can give you some confidence. The past 2 years, horses aged 3 and up on dirt, making their second start after a layoff of 2 to 4 months. Chad is 15 for 39 with a $2.42 return on investment. I think this horse has a little bit more tactical speed than he's shown in his recent starts. His most recent race should benefit him. Chad historically does well with horses cutting back in distance. I think Network Effect is a very strong contender on Saturday. We move on to the number 4. That's Garter and Tie. And Garter and Tie did some really nice things at Gulfstream Park during the spring and summer of 2019. They shipped him up to Saratoga, and he just happened to catch Chancel out on the day when that horse freaked in the Amsterdam. After that race, Garter and Tie went to a very long layoff, and he returned in a tough spot to Sir Shackleton. He didn't get any pace to run at. He really didn't have a fair shot. He probably wasn't cranked 100%. I think you can expect substantial improvement from Garter and Tie second off the layoff here. The concern is, like several horses in this race, he doesn't have any speed. And if that pace projector is right, he's going to be behind the 8 ball. I expect Garter and Tie to improve, but I'm not sure if he can overcome a slow to moderate pace up front. Red Crescent, the number 5, has a lot of angles working in his favor. This horse just missed in the Sunshine Millions Classic last time out, and he's a horse turning back from 1 1/8 to 7 furlongs, and I generally like these horses cutting back in distance to elongated sprints like 6.5 or 7 furlong races. Red Crescent is very capable at 7 furlongs. In fact, the last time he raced this distance, he earned a 101 Beyer speed figure, and the last time he cut back from 2 turns to 1, he won at 12 to 1. He has enough tactical speed that despite turning back in distance, he can stay close to the pace, and he has some Beyer speed figures that make him very competitive. He's an interesting horse with some price potential on Saturday. He Hate Me is the number 6. I'm kind of going the other way now on He Hate Me. After his performance in the Tail of the Cat Stakes at Saratoga, a race in which he was part of a multi-horse pace battle to emerge with the lead in that race, only to be run down by a good trip and good setup closer named Bone Ray Zone, I was looking forward to the fall for He Hate Me. I thought there were going to be some races for him, and it just was close but no cigar. He could never get over the hump. Last time out in the Sir Shackleton, a race we're taking a look at right now, he was up close to the pace. The pace was not very fast, and he just couldn't finish at 7. I like him better at 6 than at 7. That race, though, the Sir Shackleton, was pretty good. The horses that finished in front of He Hate Me, Vacoma, he won the Bluegrass last year. The runner-up, Yorkton, he came out of the Sir Shackleton to finish second with a 96 Beyer speed figure in an optional claiming race. He Hate Me should get another good scenario, close to a moderate pace. I just wonder how much upside he has, and again, I'm a little bit disappointed that he hasn't been able to get it done in some of his recent starts. At a short price, maybe you could try to beat him, although he should get a good setup. Noble Drama is the 7. Let's go 2 starts back for Noble Drama when he defeated Red Crescent in the Sunshine Millions Classic. Red Crescent's going to be making the lead. Noble Drama's going to run him down late after switching about 5 wide turning into the stretch. It was a good effort for Noble Drama, but it was at 1 1/8, and he might be more effective around 2 turns. Take his most recent start with a grain of salt. It was the Grade 3 Challenger at Tampa Bay, a race that was dominated on the front end by 2 good horses, Trophy Chaser, who runs in the Oaklawn Handicap on Saturday, and King for a Day, who actually defeated Maximum Security at Monmouth last year. Noble Drama was just in too tough, and considering the slow pace up front, didn't have much of a chance. I think we can rate him off the Sunshine Millions Classic, but he's another horse that might not get the pace scenario he needs, and this distance could be a bit short. Royal Squeeze completes the field, and as we talked about when discussing the pace, Royal Squeeze has an advantage because he has good speed. Last time out in a pretty salty optional claiming race, he went 44 and change to the half, and he just couldn't stick around at the finish. He probably won't have to go nearly as fast in this race. It's his second start of the form cycle. It's worth noting that he improved 10 Beyer points when winning the Claiming Crown Rapid Transit the last time he went second off the layoff, and at 10 to 1 on the morning line. He's a very interesting pace play, to be sure. Taking a look at my top pick for the Big Drama Stakes, I'm going to go with Network Effect, the number 3. The horse has always shown potential. I think clipping heels in the early portion of his last race cost him early position. He still earned a big Beyer speed figure. I think he can get a little bit closer to the pace, and that Chad Brown formulator fact speaks for itself. I'm going 3, 6, 5, and 8 in the $100,000 Big Drama Stakes, one of 3 stakes races at Gulfstream on Saturday. Approximate post for the Big Drama, 5:25 Eastern. Good luck.